more than doubled. But when it comes to giving social security for the poorest of the poor, it is still 200 rupees in the last 10 years, no change. In this rush to protect its own share, the government is making a very dangerous mistake. कुर्सी बचाने में आप मस्त है, देश को भी देखिए. I wholly agree with the finance minister on one thing. The next best thing you can do is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. You've not listened to the mandate. Vinash Kale Viprit Buddhi, you have done the exact opposite. Sir, please. Sir, the price of the cutlets in the parliamentary canteen have more than doubled. But when it comes to giving social security for the poorest of the poor, it is still 200 rupees in the last 10 years, no change. In this rush to protect its own share, the government is making a very dangerous mistake. कुर्सी बचाने में आप मस्त है, देश को भी देखिए. I wholly agree with the finance minister on one thing. The budgets for the CBI and the ED have been reduced this year, and I was wondering why. Is it because the voters didn't like the fact that you were using the CBI and the ED to go after the opposition and file fake affidavits? Or is it because you have outsourced the CBI and the ED completely to a businessman in Ahmedabad who is controlling the whole thing?
ये जिस केस के बारे में जिक्र कर रही हैं, वो लोकपाल पर मेरा केस.
We members of the opposition are deeply pained by this. We hope that the government will take notice of our pain and be present in the House each time that we speak on relevant issues. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States, had said, in any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing you can do is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. The Honorable Finance Minister has made a mockery of the people of India in this union budget by doing absolutely nothing. Whatever little changes are there are regressive and ill thought out. Means that the people did not want a business as usual approach. The people wanted a course correction. What have you done? You've not listened to the mandate. Vinash Kale Viprit Buddhi, you have done the exact opposite. You've kept the same cabinet, you've kept the same finance minister who's given the same shoddy budget. Sir, please. Sir, salaried professionals and the middle class are sharing a greater tax burden than rich corporates. The middle class is contributing 55% of direct income taxes under this government, up from 38% under the UPA. The richest corporates in India today contribute only 45% of direct taxes. Not only is the middle class being taxed, but now with this budget, the savings of the middle class have also been taxed with removal of indexation and with a rise in the short-term capital gains. People like our parents, pensioners, salaried middle class, risk-averse people who invested in gold, in property, in debt mutual funds, the removal of indexation has harmed them disproportionately. So the middle class has lost out. The Honorable MOS Finance yesterday, on Monday, told this House that the government has collected 8,263 crores as GST on health insurance for the fiscal year 23-24 alone. This is blood money. Our Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee wrote a letter to the Finance Minister, to the Centre, pointing out that this is a completely anti-people tax. What is life insurance? What is health insurance? It is people guaranteeing and spending money and protecting against life's uncertainties, against accident, against injury, against ill health, against death. What are you doing? You are imposing GST, same rate that a billionaire pays, the poorest middle class person has to pay. So people are deterred from taking out new policies. People are deterred from continuing existing insurance. This should be removed at the earliest. The central contribution to social security pensions has been unchanged since 2014. It was 200 rupees in 2014. It is still 200 rupees per person today. The price of the cutlets in the parliamentary canteen in the last 10 years have been adjusted for inflation with the government's approval. The price of the cutlets in the parliamentary canteen have more than doubled. But when it comes to giving social security for the poorest of the poor, it is still 200 rupees in the last 10 years, no change. In this rush to protect its own share, the government is making a very dangerous mistake, which is it's not giving enough to protect our borders. Military experts have repeatedly warned us that India's military capability has to be modernized because we are fighting on two fronts. One is against China, we need a dissuasive deterrent. Against Pakistan, we need an offensive deterrent. The budgetary allocation for defense in this budget is 6.22 lakh crores. This is a marginal decrease of 2,000 crores compared to revised budget estimates. We have reduced it by 2,000 crores. This year's allocation, the budget defense allocation, is 1.9% of GDP. This is the lowest since 1960. The lowest. Despite many economic constraints, past governments had always given close to 3% of GDP, which is the universal norm for defense. Over the last decade, ever since this government's been in power, it's been hovering around 2%. We have been unable as a government to compel China to restore status quo ante-April 2020 on the line of actual control. We have been unable to deter Pakistan. In the last 2 months alone, over 50 security personnel and about 10 civilian pilgrims have been killed in Jammu. Kursi bachane mein aap mast hai. Desh ko bhi dekhiye. We need close to 3%, 2.5% to 3% of GDP to defense. This is something that the country needs to look at. Finally, I have to mention one interesting fact, and I hope that the Treasury benches will have the patience to hear me out. Please. I wholly agree with the Finance Minister on one thing. The budgets for the CBI and the ED have been reduced this year, and I was wondering why. Is it because the voters didn't like the fact that you were using the CBI and the ED to go after the opposition and file fake affidavits? Or is it because you have outsourced the CBI and the ED completely to a businessman in Ahmedabad who's controlling the whole thing? Why have you reduced it? Number one, the former Maharashtra Home Minister highlighted how BJP leaders and agencies have threatened him to filing a fake affidavit. In the case of Sandesh Khali in West Bengal, the women have confirmed on video that BJP leaders forced them to file fake statements. Similarly, I'm told in my matter, Mr. Adani on October 16, 2023, got my friend to his office in Ahmedabad and threatened him with dire consequences to file a fake affidavit. Actually, it was Mr. Adani's in-law, Mr. Cyril Shroff, who filed the fake affidavit and forced him to sign it. Even today, every mid-level official in Adani's office calls mid-level officials in the CBI and says, 161 statement change karaiye, aapka sir ko bulaiye, madam ke against mein statement dijiye. I am telling the CBI, via you, madam, please take a 164 statement once and for all. Don't keep calling back people at Adani's behest to change 161 statements to implicate me. It's going to get you nowhere. Let us reduce the CBI and the ED budget to zero. Let us, Mr. Adani pay the full 1,500 crores. Let us outsource it completely to him. End of story. In short, this Kursi Bajao budget is a desperate attempt by the government to stick its head in the sand and act like that the mandate of 2024 never happened.
सभापति महोदया, ये जिस केस के बारे में जिक्र कर रही हैं, वो लोकपाल पर मेरा केस है। मेरा केस है। मैंने कंप्लेन किया है। मेरे कंप्लेन पर वो केस है। वो मामला सब जुडिस है। उसको सीबीआई और ईडी इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है और इसीलिए इस सदन में नो क्या, ये मेरा केस है। लोकपाल पर मैंने जो है कंप्लेन किया हुआ है और ये केस मेरे ऊपर है, इसीलिए मैं यहाँ बैठा हुआ हूँ। ये कुछ भी हो रहा है तो दरअसल हीरानंदानी को यदि हिम्मत है जिसके बारे में ये बात कर रही है, उसको हिंदुस्तान में आके सीबीआई उसको बुला रही है, वो आ क्यों नहीं रहा है?